Outer Orange.
Today, we are going to go over the results. We just got a ton come through from Fuzzy Paradox. Let's go ahead and check out what's been going on in the world of Cardfight Vanguard. All right, fam, here we are. We got the Costa Rica breakdowns. I believe, if I remember correctly, they only had standard over there, so this is just standard, no premium, none of that stuff. But anyway, we got the standard. We got 2 Doji, 1 Prism, 1 Zorga, 1 Leskaria, 1 Michu, 1 Leonard, and 1 Rezael for the top 8 breakdown. Overall, relatively all good decks. I'd say the Bugs deck is a little bit more common to see, less common to see, and then I also think Zorga is a little bit more usual to see. I feel like Doji definitely destroys that deck, but maybe some people aren't really aware of how to fight into Zorga. Maybe that's also causing some issues. I'm not really too sure because Zorga can also explode out of nowhere. Razel's still really good, Leonard's good, Michu's good. Prism is a little bit more unusual, but I will say from personal testing, the deck's not bad. I wouldn't say it's like a super high contender deck, but it as long as you don't soul charge incorrectly, like it's pretty good. Kind of does the same thing over and over again. It likes going first, and you can kind of utilize on that and not give away second. You'll notice there's no stride deck, so going first is like kind of what everyone wants to do in this type of format that we're seeing here. Kind of makes Kyrie a little bit stronger because Kyrie gets to just go second freely, so I personally value Kyrie in this format. So let's go into top 8. So top 8 was first place with Doji, second place with Prism, third place with Zorga, and fourth place with the Bugs deck. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these decks. I am curious to see if anything has changed throughout these. I believe Bushi does have the top 8 here real quick, so we can take a look at them together. So here's the first place list. This is the breakdown, by the way. This is sort of what the breakdown's looking like. So we have most of the represented was actually Brandgate, surprisingly enough. And then after that is Dragon Empire, and then we have Keter, we have Dark States equal with Slois Stochea, and then the least represented is Lyrical. So here's the first place list. It's basically pretty standard with the exception of them choosing to run this Owl card, or Owl looking card. Basically, he gets 10k when he's put out, and then he also can retire himself and draw a card. It's kind of okay. I don't think the President going down to 2 is worth it, but everyone plays this deck a little bit differently, so I respect it. Otherwise, honestly, everything else about this list is very standard. That's literally just the fact that they decided to drop the one of President for this. But otherwise, the list is like a very standard list. They're already in the Kagechikas. I personally really value the Kagechikas and the Cyclers, so I really like seeing the list with this package over the Forktail. I found out over time that Forktail is good, but I think Kakechika is still like the better play. I was mainly running Forktail just to have a body on the board that I can swing with and being able to deck them on top of that, but I found Kakechika just has more value throughout the games. If you're going down the grade 1 package, if you're playing grade 1s, like extra grade 1s, then I feel the Kakechika just has the better value. But it's kind of up to you. If you want to deck them just to hit faster, if you're like worried about some kind of breaking or whatever, then yeah, the Forktail is good. It's actually, if you run Forktail, you can actually get away with only 2 copies of a President, but it's still really risky. I don't recommend it. So Doji took it all. I've seen some copers out there that are like, Doji's not that good. This is the second event, I believe, back to back so far that we've had Doji take first place. So if that says anything, I feel like anyone that doesn't think this deck's that good should definitely start maybe testing into it, or people that they're testing, maybe ask them if they understand the deck pro, because it really is a pilot deck. It's one of those decks where if you face a bad pilot, you're gonna think the deck's awful, and that is very true. This is one of those decks where you don't really see the true power of the deck until you face the right player under it, and then you really your eyes open with this deck. That's definitely an eye-opening deck. One more thing about this deck I forgot to mention. Someone brought up, I think it was actually Fuzzy that brought this up, there's a chance they might not have had the 3rd copy of a President, and maybe that's why they were also running the Owl. Just want to make that clear just in case. There is the chance that they just could not have had the card because it is an expensive card. So something else to think about, if you don't have it, then then the grade 2 makes sense. It's a really good slot in cards. Prism is very standard. This is a very old list. Like the way this is built in with the old list. The only difference is the Cycler. Honestly, a build like this works too. You can get away with something like this. You're basically just running the good cards, and as long as you're running the Cyclers, it's really hard to go wrong with a Prism list unless you're running like non-Prism-esque cards. So I don't really fully agree with the Transfer because you do run out of soul quite a lot with this deck. I do like the fact that they put in the 30k order card. It's pretty good. They were running a very heavy amount of orders, so I'm actually surprised that instead of this grade 1, they weren't running Aura. That's, I think, the only thing I would say that would have been better in here. I will say also dropping this card down to 1 is really risky unless they didn't have the 4th copy. And last but not least, I do think the Mermaid line is better than the this one, but again, maybe they just didn't have the cards because Lyrical just dropped. It's very possible. Might not even been legal. I don't know if Lyrical was legal for the set. It's possible it wasn't. If it wasn't, then this list is fine with the exception of the grade 2. So there's also that. So we have Zorga. This was Zorga with the 6 revivals. They're running 3 and 3 of the Dragon, the grade 2, basically, and they're running the Shade. I'm just happy to see this card starting to come back. I do think it's a good card, personally. I remember reading it. I was like, this card's kind of good. I'm happy to see more lists are starting to kind of run it again. Overall, everything else is pretty standard outside of the shade. We have the Banshee. They're also writing the Retired 2 to draw card right here. This guy's, he's pretty good if you want to remove your dragons really fast, and since they're writing the dragons, it comes up. You notice there's a kind of bit of what, like a lot of one-ofs in here. The deck does find them, especially with Mythic Arc, so it's not the end of the world if you're running run drops, so it's also just pretty good. Lascaria list, basically just, you know, lots of blitz order spamming, and ideally people try to deck you out with this deck. Or they'll try to survive all your lethal stuff, make you run out of steam, and then they'll win off of that. So people forget that this is a multi-attacking deck, as you would think, because it's a control-esque deck where it kind of sits there and farms for so long that it can attack multiple times, but it can. Something to keep on the lookout for. It's something I forget sometimes, that this bug deck can restand its rears. So be careful. It can be pretty lethal. And that's it. That's it for Costa Rica. So let's go back over here. So we do have some new JP results that just came through. Are pretty interesting to look at. There's the Levidras deck has been definitely like one of the popular picks along with Rezael. The Love deck has been really popular, and I think a lot of people just don't really know when the world this deck is or what it's doing. But there's a lot of diversity cut stuff kind of going on, and Love and Barry can get away with kind of running their engine while also still playing a diversity cut, because they have a card in the deck that searches the Berry or the Love, and then you can just basically hard ride it instead of going for the one in your ride line. So your ride line could be like whatever, and then you can play this. Like the day that some of these decks dropped, like it wasn't this one, I think it was like last week's or whatever. A lot of people were really confused by some of the ride line picks. That's basically the explanation. Since you can hard ride the card anyway, you can get away with kind of going around diversity cut and still playing a really, really strong deck. And that way you have a higher chance of topping, and you can kind of go down that route. So that's basically what people did. We have a lot of decks in here. We have Black. Black is insane. And again, it's getting new cards too. It's gonna get better. Odium is starting to perform. They did get the new Shenri card, the promo. That's like really, really good. Varga, Arkai, Alpadio, Rose, Michu, Charmout, Messiah, Luar, Prison again. I think Fuzzy didn't catch that. It's okay. We have Shiranui, Zorga, Ava. We got the Bad deck, Varroa, Minerva, Yatsuba, Ballista, Leonore, Mygo, Dayusha, Youthberg, Alacalibra. Quite a lot. Honestly, all pretty decent contenders, I would say. None of these decks really do anything bad. So here's sort of what the top 4 looked like for the Tokyo WGP looked like. So first place that took it all was basically Levidras, the Black deck, and the Love Fairy deck. We got Charmout, Archite, and Elpadio. Then we have Levidras, Odium, and Rezael, and then new Rezael, and then Messiah, Luard, and Prison. This team right here that my face is covering really was like, yeah, we're just gonna stick to the old stuff. They're really playing in last meta's meta. Like they're just vibing. We have Block B. We just looked at Block A, and this one has all the new Varga, which is interesting. I think the other one didn't have this many Vargas in it. A lot of Varga, a lot of Rezael, a lot of Levidras, and we have Odium, and then basically everything else. Trying to see if there's anything more unusual here. Not really. Do you see a little Mygo breakthrough? Got Direful Doll, and then Yasuba. Let's see what the top 4 looked like on this side. So this is a very Kyrie heavy, a little bit more on the Kyrie side. We have Rezael, Odium, Levidras, really good combo. I think this is a very strong team right here. You can't really go wrong with the Rezael and Levidras, and the third deck can be kind of whatever at the moment. And then we got Night Rose, Kyrie, and Jujul. Jujul's actually pretty good. Definitely a deck to look out for. We got Night Rose, Odium, Ava, and then we got Kyrie, Doji, Doji still back in, and we have Harry. So all really good picks here. Kyrie, I'm a little bit more skeptical on Kyrie because I don't know, that deck is stressful. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this, but that deck stresses me out. It's definitely not an orange deck anymore. I really like it. I love playing it, but God, I hate sitting there and just not having a grade 1 for like 5 turns and it just going. I really gave my opponent first just to brick. It's the worst. It's literally the worst feeling. But anyway, we are seeing a lot of Odium decks kind of come through, so that's also really good. Let me see if there's anything else before I transition to looking at some of the decks. Doesn't feel like it, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these Odium decks so you guys can kind of get an idea of sort of what these are looking like. All right, so here's an Odium list. This is the first place one I believe I picked. Third place list for Block A that I picked here. So this is sort of what it's looking like. I think DF just did well with an Odium deck too, so we can check out probably his list as well. But basically, this is sort of what we're looking like. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what half these cards do because I just don't remember off the top of my head, but ideally you basically want to find the order and kind of just get all your gauges set up and then go into your extra turn. This is basically Shenri, just literally the same thing, goes into Soul, you get 5k and you draw a card. This is very good. This promo is just insane. Also, the art on this is like really pretty. I really value the art on this. I just think this card looks sick as hell. But if you have the gauge, you can't bust draw card. Soul Charge 1, pretty good. It also gets boost, so you can put it in the back row somewhere. I'm seeing the power of that card. This is the guy that I believe you want in the gauge zone, if I remember correctly. This is the gauge zone card that you bring out for your extra turns, and then we know what this card does. And then this is the order searcher. This is the one that basically grabs you your orders, which you very much need because this card is just kind of a staple. You can social charge 1, place this card face up as your time stamp gauge. When this card is placed as your time stamp gauge, draw 1, choose your figures, get specific power to turn. This card is very important for kind of like the whole kind of to keep the deck kind of flowing, and to get all your gauges going. It's very, very important. But it's basically sort of what the deck is looking like. Here's Levidras. Now this deck I haven't spent time on yet. I will. I'm about to, because we just got our stuff on our side, at least for the older version. So I will be spending some time on this deck here shortly. So but what I've been watching, I watched a video of Kai's recently explaining that this is kind of like a denial deck. You kind of deny first, and then you kind of gotta start going crazy. Basically, don't let your opponent play the game for a while, and then you start playing the game type of thing. So it's a little bit of a more control-esque deck. But the TLDR is you kind of just get you get to gauge up your opponent's stuff, and they get to draw off of them, and then you get multi-attack, and you just kind of go off of that approach, and then you just kind of deny your opponent resources to where they can't answer your stuff fast enough, and you win the game that way. So it's a little different, but I'm not too familiar with it. But it's basically just kind of like a list to start out with. Keep in mind, guys, we're officially in step 4. So if you are thinking about picking up some of these cards, right now is a good time to start picking up these cards while they're still not super expensive. So you ideally want the grade 3, you want the grade 2, you want the other grade 2, which is this one. You should be looking into finding this card. It is starting to become more of a staple. This card was pretty cheap, and now it's starting to go up because it's starting to be played in a lot of decks, including decks that even Yatsova plays it. So something to keep in mind. Got the Magnolia looking weird bug grade 1, and we have the other one as well. So these are in step 4 with the exception of the festival collection cards. So you should probably pick these up like now. And you can use my code ORANGE for 50 cards of shop to save yourself some money if you want to grab it through there. Wherever you want to grab it, you definitely want to grab these cards, because this is as you can tell, it's the core of the deck. The only thing new you're adding from like the new set is literally just the new guy. So definitely be on the lookout for this if you really, really want to play this next. And if this content is informative to you, like and subscribe. I am here to help you where I can, so you don't have to spend too much money. Oh, I also forgot you need the Musketeer, but the Musketeer's in step 5 too. So you just need 2 cards. 2 cards out of the new set, so make sure you grab all the current cards before they go skyrocketing in price when this deck starts performing on the English side, which, you know, we are getting step 5 first, so this deck's going to start performing relatively soon. This we could take a look at a Rezael deck too. I actually really think Rezael is really, really strong this upcoming set. I don't know if I'm just you know, because I just don't have enough knowledge, if that's just like a personal bias. I just think Rezael is just really good with like I think the new support's good, the old support's already good. The deck was already good, and I feel like just giving it more support just makes it better. This list is running for the order package. You don't even need to run the order package. Maybe with the new stuff you do, I'm not too sure. Maybe the new stuff makes it better, because I've seen some lists just completely cut it and just run the good Rezael cards, and it works pretty well there. The new guy just basically does more than what the old guy was doing, and he basically just gets cool effects, and he also gets the divide effects from the old one. I go crazy with it, so it's pretty interesting. I think this deck's really strong, so I think it's already really good, and so we'll see where it goes from here. We just had, I believe Chris just got 2nd place at one of the events here. We just checked. He also got his 60k. Congrats! But let me take a look at real quick at his list, because I know he posted it. So yeah, there he is. He's in 2nd place on that one. So here's his actual list. I thought I'd show you guys the picture first. So this was also another recent top, right? Let me translate this real quick for y'all. So this is the Chiho Cup to Deluxe 2024. He ended in top 16. Thank you everyone who supported me. So he qualified for the qualifying round. Faced Varga. As a team, they did well. Faced Dahl. As a team, he got it as well. Faced Rezael. As a team, they got it. Faced Tanamiri Levidras. I'm not too sure what that one is. And then the team lost there. This is really cool to see. So he did so this is basically just his version of the deck. It looks pretty similar from the one we just looked at, except he's running the Cyclers. I personally highly respect the Cyclers. He's also running this one grade 1 here. I don't know what this card is, but I respect the Cyclers. I just think drawing cards, and this deck definitely wants to see certain pieces really good. The Regalia piece is also really nuts in here. So yeah, overall, I definitely like where he went with this list. I would probably be trying out something like this just so I can understand this deck. This right here, because this is where he just was at, and there he is. There's Chris right there. So, but this is sort of what we're looking at for this. This just came out like literally like I believe today, or maybe even yeah, it was literally this morning at 5 in the morning. This came out. So this is like brand new stuff here that I'm talking about. So we've seen a lot of Loveberry. Loveberry is apparently like insanely strong, so something kind of look out. Definitely seen some Rezael, some Levidras, some Odium, some Vargas. We got Bat here. Apparently Bat's doing really well now. The new stuff is just performing. The crit pressure is just restanding, getting the orders. I'm actually really excited for this. I have all the pieces with the new stuff that's coming, so I'm actually really excited to see if we get this promo in time to try it out. Magnolia shouldn't have changed too much. It should be about the same. Here is some more. We got more Levidras, more Varga, more Rezael, a little bit of Kyrie. You got a touch of the Kitty Cat Girl. This is definitely a meme right here. There's like a card that's This card currently being hidden right there. I'm pretty sure that's literally just Loveberry, so just FYI. That's just Loveberry. You got a Doji as well. A Doji made it through, and then we also have some more here. So we have the Sharadui, Varga, Rose. Oh wow, Elva Jester, Black. We got more Levidras, more Black, more the Kitty Cat Girl, Varga. We got Leonorn as well. We got some prison action, and then we have again just more. When we look at some of the ones that are a little bit more unusual, so we have a Velstra here. Velstra does have some good, decent new support. Alden, I see, is just a little bit breaking through. We got Jejuled. We do have a Sharanui. One thing I am happy to see that there's no more like a ton of Sharanuis in the top 4 slots. So we are seeing that kind of slowed down. Thank goodness for that. That's all I have for this. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was informative in some way, shape, or form. I think it was. It was also nice to kind of see what current like KP is also doing, like what's going on over there. They do have the collab set kind of breaking through everywhere. As you guys are seeing, it's so people want to play it so badly that they're even trying to go around diversity cut to have it in there because it's searchable. But I think it looks spicy as hell, y'all. I think that deck looks spicy. Like you can't tell me this is not peak Vanguard. You don't want just all these equipments on your doll person. You don't want this in your life. You don't want a clock to look at the time that you're putting into and winning. Like you don't want this in your life. You don't want the ball gown to make yourself look stylish while you're just destroying your opponent. You don't want any of this. Like why you guys don't understand. This is great. This is great. This is pure dubs right here. Pure actual dubs. Like I want to play this deck. I like I'm not the biggest fan of collabs, but I will say it looks unique and different, and I like that about it. I also just like random crap like this. It tickles my happy bone. Code Orange if you need your goodies and all that kind of fun stuff. Step 4 just dropped, and we're about a month away from, or a month and a half away from Step 5 coming into our circle. So just get ready for that as well. It is coming down the line. So the decks you're currently seeing will be coming soon our way as well. So stay tuned for all that. But now, guys, peace out. Das vidania. See you guys in a future video. Bye.